Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the urge to get educated, the urge to get out of darkness, the pressure you feel to get out of ignorance, it is inevitable. You must understand that there is a sense of pressure you feel right from your childhood. It's a sense of that something is incomplete. See, the problem is the world is so loud that you miss the silence which is within. So it's the silence which is missed because you are in touch with the world constantly. All the time you are in touch with the world. Now, that does not mean that you should not be in touch with the world. It's not me. It doesn't say that. But the reason you are in touch with the world, the purpose for which you are in touch with the world is happiness. And that happiness is all the time eluding you. You're all the time, you miss that happiness. Every time you feel that this is it, you miss it. Every time you feel that this is it, that's it, you miss it. It's fascinating what you must understand. But you don't see that because you don't suspect that there could be anything else which is apart from the world, and you are constantly exploring the world outwardly. So, if you take your life back 40 years, 50 years, some of you all even 50 years back, take your life 50 years back or 60 years back when you were a teen. If your memory supports you, look at yourself, what you were. You will find that you were pushed to get yourself educated, from educated as a school, from the school, you pushed yourself to get educated at the university. And at the university, you were pushed to get something else and something else and something else. But now, let's say you have achieved something and you've achieved a decent status. You've achieved a little name, you've achieved money, you've achieved whatever you have to achieve. And let's say you still feel that you are still thinking and you want to look into yourself. If you have a little silence with you, you will look back and think that all the time I have been in the pursuit of a chase which is of the unknown. I do not know what I'm pursuing. Because every time I felt when I was a child, I felt that I want to get through school. When I went to university, I felt that now I need something else. When I was university, I felt that I need a job. I need to start my own profession. Then you find yourself that pressure of getting out of the university and getting a job or a profession or your own business, that was fulfilled, that was achieved. The moment I had that, the moment I was successful in that, I had the pressure, I had an urge. Don't forget that word, urge to get something else. Then I had that. Let's say it was settling down. And then I had that urge for something else. So as long as you are opening the doors of the world, you will find that it's a never-ending chase. You will go on and on and on, chasing that. So that urge to educate yourself, to get you that peace, to get you that happiness, is your original nature. It's your own self. It's your own state. And why you find the need to educate yourself is because you don't suspect that there could be anything apart from the world. See, you don't blame people because all you have is your senses and your sense objects. Now, when you access your senses, when you access your sense objects, what you have in front of you is the world, nothing else. But when you access your buddhi, your intellect, when you access the mind and you tell the mind to cooperate with the intellect, only then you access the recesses of your ignorance. Only then you can access your ignorance and you can tell yourself. Because why? When you access your intellect, the intellect gives you a chance to compare your present state with your past or the future, what the future is going to be. So then you will suspect that the education, the urge of education which I'm trying to fulfill in the world, the moment I fulfill that urge, there is something else which comes up. And there is something else which comes up. And that's unending. And it's not giving me that happiness. Every aspect of yours, if you see, you will see that. All of you all come so dedicatedly to listen to these talks. But every aspect of yours, you will understand that the more and more I listen to these talks, I understand that I have opened the recesses, the deep recesses of ignorance. And I'm able to see and compare through the intellect, because only if you have the intellect, you can compare. That's called distinction. One of the functions of the intellect is distinguishing and distinction. So you distinguish between what is knowledge, what is ignorance. You have the distinction between what is my present state vis-a-vis my past state, or what's going to be my future state.
Viveka Buddhi.
Yep. So what you must understand is, once you capture, once you are able to capture that silence, and you find that yes, there is a lot of noise in the world, and this noise I am accumulating, I am congregating, I am contacting, only to find that peace. But I don't get that peace because my peace gets drowned in that noise. There's too much noise. See, the world has made you so distracted. The world has made you so dependent that people are not able to handle silence anymore. You know, it's interesting. There are a lot of people, if you go to a hotel, see, this is psychology. You should learn that. If you go to a hotel, there are a lot of people who want to see you. But there are a lot of people who are staying for a longer time in the hotel. They don't want the sea view. Let's say if you have a blanket sea view, they want the city view. Because the sea, there is nothing, is boring. There is nothing to see. All the time you will see the same sea again and again and again. But they want action because they can't handle that silence. So, my dear friends, my dear students, what you must understand is that that noise is drowning your silence. And even when you are in the pursuit of meditation, you believe that you will achieve that silence through meditation, but you are not able to have that sustained silence. Therefore, you fail in meditation. You try and hours and hours and hours to get that sustained silence, but you are not able to achieve it because you have not handled the mind. You have not taken care of the mind, which has a lot of noise because of the desires still being there. So there is no sustained silence. So therefore, you find people meditate. See, my guru will always say, you're wasting your time. But I don't say that anymore now because they believe that I'm against meditation. I don't say that. I said meditate. You want to go and crash, you meditate. See, if you are a true student, you will be really interested that I need to achieve the end of my goal. And I have been meditating for years and years and years. And I'm still angry. I'm still jealous. I still have negativity. So what is the use for meditation? Just because you find an easy way out. And now a more liquid form of meditation is yoga, where people the West have sold to you that yoga makes the mind quiet. And everybody is practicing yoga. Yoga is something, it is to be practiced, but it does not make the mind quiet. You must understand that. How many times have we explained? Yoga makes the body quiet. Understand that. Yoga is something which makes your body quiet, but it cannot make the mind quiet because the mind handles your body. It's the mind which gives you instruction, the body instruction. Do this, do that. Eat this, eat that. Go here, don't go there. So yoga is fine. It's a beautiful practice. Of course, it synchronizes your body. But to put in effort for the mind, you need another practice, which is bhakti yoga, and for the intellect, jnana yoga. So a combination of jnana, bhakti, and yoga, what you practice for the body, that gives you that effect of sitting down and sorting yourself out. So if today any one of y'all pick up this concept that my urge to educate myself is been in vain because the more I get myself educated, the more I feel myself empty. See, this is different from don't get me wrong, where what we are trying to say here is it's not that you should not get yourself educated in different subjects. But if you get yourself educated for happiness in different subjects, that is a dead end. That's what we're trying to say. So what makes you truly educated? What culls your urge? What completes your purpose of life is to get educated in the knowledge of the self. And that urge, only then that urge will subside or be taken away from you. If you do not get educated, therefore we say Vedanta is the end of knowledge, but it is also a beginning for a human being. Vedanta is the beginning for everything a human being can achieve. Everything. You want success, you need Vedanta. You need a happy marriage, you need Vedanta. You need concentration, you need Vedanta. You must understand that. Loosely they talk about Bhagavad Gita. You saw now, the lady won the bronze medal. She won 2 bronze medals. When she went for the third one, obviously the mind got agitated. When your mind gets agitated, your concentration loses. When you lose your concentration, your body is not able to synchronize your actions with your goal. That's what you must understand. So it is the alignment of the intellect with the mind and your body which gets you success. So if one of you all wake up today and ask yourself that, yes, I need to fulfill that urge of happiness, that urge which brings me to the knowledge of yourself. At least come to the knowledge of yourself. You have tried different knowledges in the world and you still want more and more and more. There's nothing wrong. But at least try and come to the knowledge of yourself. At least come there. Taste it for a little time. And then you see yourself methodic, structured, in a structured manner. Don't jump into any random thoughts, please. You must understand, you ought to understand, you should not jump into random thoughts. Randomization of spirituality can never bring you peace. Understand that. People pick up random thoughts from meditation, then they'll say yoga, then they'll say mantra, then they'll say kundalini, then they'll say breathing. These are all randomization of spiritual practices. Just as education is methodic, it's structured, you cannot have randomization of spiritual practices and then find yourself successful. Since people have randomized their practices, spiritual practices, therefore they go on trying different methods of keeping themselves happy, of keeping themselves engaged, and each one comes out with a different formula saying that this is what helps me, this is what helps me, yoga helps me, meditation helps me, kundalini helps me, mantra helps me. See, what is baffling, you will appreciate, all of y'all will appreciate, because y'all are trained to think. See, think. The mind has all negativities, and the mind immediately attaches itself to fear. And a fearful mind needs an immediate solution of fear. Where to talk to, who to talk to. See, today I'm going to tell you something which happened 2 weeks back. It's fascinating what is happening in the world. See, there was an apartment, in one of the famous buildings here in Mumbai. There was an apartment for sale. Now look at this. Let's say there are 20 floors and there are 2 flats, means there are 40 flats. Already there are people living in that apartment, in those apartments, in that building for years and years and years. And all of them are successful. What you must understand, now carefully listen. Ashita, all of them are successful. All of you are in that building. Now, there was an apartment which came for sale. The wife of that person who was supposed to buy that apartment, very rarely an apartment comes for sale in that building. So that wife who came and saw that apartment of the new owner, she says, "Oh my God, this is my dream apartment. I want it. That's it." And the husband said, wife says means husband also has to say yes, can't say anything. Everything was seen inside for a very high price. Suddenly, that person brings in the person who sees the direction, person who sees, a compass. This is not good. That is not good. He brought that man in. Apparently, his personal man. And that man said, this apartment is not good for you, because it is this entry, it is that entry, and that and this. See, I'm not here to demean anybody, please. But what you must understand. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is something very different. Now, that wife said, "I don't care. I want this apartment. You tell your guy that he should do whatever he has to. And I want this apartment. I don't care." And this man started instilling fear, saying, "No, if you do this, if you get this apartment, this will happen." He went 3-4 times. They said, "No, if you enter from here, enter from there." And he convinced that man, and that man convinced his wife that if we get this apartment, we are finished. That deal was cancelled. 1 week later, another man who likes an apartment, another man who likes an apartment, who likes the same apartment, Ashita, likes the same apartment, he brings in his person and he says, "Enter this apartment. This is the best apartment for you. Buy it." There is no doubt. What I fail to understand is what I'm earnestly putting in front of you all, with all my humility, where I want you all to think, how can laws be different for one person and the other person? That's what I want you all to think. If it's a law and humans are successful, humans have losses, humans are unsuccessful only based on laws, how can one law, if it's a law, therefore I say it's not a law. You bring in one person says, "No, you're successful." You bring in the other person says, "You're unsuccessful." How is that possible? And as a result of which, what I'm trying to tell you all, my dear friends, In the last 3 weeks, I've heard 5 different people saying that, Prayagji, I'm in doldrums because I'm trying to sell something and these people are coming and they're saying, no, this is not right, that is not right. A builder a realtor, man who's constructed a building, and he says there are different people coming and saying, no, don't enter here, don't enter there. He's saying my sales are getting affected. And in the beginning, when I made that building, I employed the best of the guys, and the best of the guys said, make it this way. How can you submit yourself to some random theory? What you must understand that. How can you not understand that your life is based on your law of karma? There is nothing superior than the law of karma. There is only one thing superior than the law of karma, is the self. And it's the self which enlivens you, controls the law of karma. That God principle controls the law of karma. Now that law of karma makes you or breaks you. Not bringing in people who are saying, break this. I know a lady in Delhi where her kitchen was shut. See, you inconvenience people. I don't mind, you follow whoever you want. That's up to you. I've got nothing to do with that. It's your life. But you inconvenience old people. You shut their kitchens. And that too, it was done out of innocence, ignorance. A lady's kitchen, worst thing to do is to shut a lady's kitchen. Worst thing. Where does this go and land? So, the antidote to all your problems in the world, fear. People instill fear in you. And you sell yourselves for that fear because you do not want to understand that urge of yours, which is calling you, which is pulling you, which is pushing you to the knowledge of your own self and whatever religion you belong to. Every religion is calling you to that self. We are on the brink of a war. Anytime you'll find there's a brink of a war. Why? Because of misunderstanding of religion. Not religion, please. It is not religion. It is your misunderstanding of religions. You fight against each other. So, educate yourself. Fulfill that urge to educate yourself, and that urge to educate yourself will go on haunting you until you land yourself, at least land yourself with the knowledge of the self. Vedanta is that subject which fulfills that urge. At least try it out. And I said it's not a randomization of practices, please. It's a methodicity. You need to be methodic in your practices for you to gain success. Everything in the world you do, methodic, and then you get success. But spirituality, you want to randomize. How can you randomize spirituality and become successful? You cannot do that. Therefore, please, it's a humble request. What have we got to do with you? From today onwards, try to identify with that urge of education, and that urge of education will bring you to the knowledge of Vedanta. And try the knowledge of Vedanta out with your own intellect, not with anyone's intellect. So why I'm telling you this is because Eklavya did not relent. Even though his master said, I'm not going to teach you, he was in an endeavor of making a statue out of the master. He made a statue out of the master, and from that statue, he got further brilliance. So true education is educating yourself from within, enlightening yourself from within. You may get external information, but unless you have transferred that information and you have converted that information in that wisdom is that experience. Wisdom is that experience you convert out of that knowledge you have. Then you will call yourself to be truly educated. You will not get fear. You will not be bothered by jealousy. You will not be bothered by envy. You will not be bothered by what other people say. And several other maladies, several other things people are used to. Get stuck with all these things. So at least like Eklavya, come to the, at least lend yourself. And he has proven in his episode that even though he was not disgruntled with his master, even though his master said, no, I will not teach you, because he was committed, he made a statue out of that master. He gave it life. He gave it his own life, and he got true inspiration and got himself educated.